Can you believe already that we are down to just 3 football games left in the season? Just 3. We got 2 games this weekend and then the Super Bowl. Because we're not counting the Pro Bowl. We do not count the Pro Bowl. Pro Bowl does not exist. It's to the point where they are playing flag football for the Pro Bowl. Yeah, I will not partake in volunteering my eyes to watch that. Just not going to be able to do it. But anyway, 2 games this weekend. 2 of them, both of these games should be blockbusters. Both of these games should be pretty epic and fun to watch. So the first game, the NFC Championship, the Niners, the Bay Area, that legendary team taking their talents to Philadelphia, going to the Eagles. Boy, what we do know is Jalen Hurts looks healthy. He definitely looks healthy for what he and the Philadelphia Eagles did to the Giants last week. That's for sure. We know that the Eagles' running game is solid. We know that their wide receivers are legit. We know that defense is monstrous. So we know that the Eagles sounds pretty similar to the 49ers. Right? Niners' running game is legit. Receivers are definitely solid. Defense is monstrous, as the Niners has the number 1 defense in the league. So I guess it all comes down to quarterback play. I mean, along with coaching, but mainly quarterback play. Can Brock Purdy do enough in this game to get the job done? Now, I've asked this question to a couple of my friends before we even got to this point. Even before last week's game against Dallas. So we know Brock Purdy has been excellent for the Niners, hasn't lost a game. You know, Mr. Irrelevant, the very last pick of this year's draft. Third string quarterback going into the season. You know, Trey Lance was the initial starter. He got hurt. He's out for the year. Jimmy G steps right in. Looks like the Niners are looking like the Niners again. And then Jimmy G, he goes out. He's basically done for the year at this point. Mr. Irrelevant steps in as they were rolling and won 11 or 12 straight games at this point? I think it's 12. So yeah, Brock Purdy has definitely been great. But I was asking him, like, hey, what if Brock Purdy beats Dak Prescott and the Cowboys? Because that Cowboys team, you know, they're not bad. And then takes his talents to Philly, going to that environment, and somehow wins that game and makes it to the Super Bowl. And like, what are we talking about now? Because at that point, it's like, if I'm the Niners, is it a wrap for Trey Lance? Probably. It's definitely a wrap for Jimmy G, right? Because he wasn't even supposed to be around this long, but here he is. And so as far as a legacy standpoint, does that make Brock Purdy like the long-term starter? Do you not even entertain like Tom Brady or anybody like that? Or Aaron Rodgers? Like, I'm fully committed to Brock Purdy. I don't even talk about winning the Super Bowl, just making it to the Super Bowl. Can he do that? I'm curious because, like, yeah, Brock, he had definitely had some rookie moments, especially against the Cowboys. Especially right before halftime where he was just holding on to the ball, and he could throw the ball away, and he barely throws it away with 1 second left for Robbie Gould to come out there to kick a field goal. He almost lost 3 points because of that. Just little stuff like that. But for the most part, this man has been sensational to me. Just for the art test, I mean, when it counts the most, he's making the throws, fitting it in between, in the narrowest of windows, making the right reads, extending plays. His mobility is more than I thought it would be. I mean, Brock looks nice. I mean, to me, he's better than, some quarterbacks in this league. I mean, for starters, he's better than Ryan Tannehill. Oh, let me get started on Ryan Tannehill. My gosh. Better than Mitchell Trubisky. Yeah, that's a whole nother ball game. Better than Carson Wentz to me. I mean, I think I'm taking Brock Purdy over Taylor Heineke too, if I'm at it with the Commanders. Better than Davis Mills. I mean, I can keep going here, but we definitely know he can play, and so far he's not fumbling the perfect situation that the Niners have created for him. So yeah, we will see. So it definitely comes back to quarterback play. What can Jalen Hurts do against that Niners defense? What can Brock Purdy do against the Eagles defense? I think Kyle Shanahan will definitely put him in the right situations. Like how much of Christian McCaffrey we're going to see, how much of Deebo Samuel we're going to see. It's like this game's going to be fun. Like I expected the Cowboys and Niners game to be defensive, and it was. And I was entertained. The final score was 16-9. It was like watching a defensive chess game. It was fun. So definitely curious to see what's going to happen here. If I'm not mistaken, the Eagles are about 2.5 point favorites. Over-unders around 46. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a really good game here. And if I had to make a pick, I'm taking the 49ers. I'm doing it. I'm rolling with Brock Purdy. Before the playoffs started, my NFC pick was the Niners, and I'm sticking with it. Sticking to my guns. Now, the other game here, boy, oh boy. This is part 4 of Mahomes versus Burrow. This is a rematch of last year's AFC Championship game in the same fashion. The Kansas City Chiefs are hosting the Cincinnati Bengals. And before I even get into this matchup, our favorite person, Eli Apple for the Bengals, he just always doing something, right? Always. And at this point, I'm convinced Eli Apple is the Patrick Beverly of the NFL. I'm convinced. When Stephon Diggs was, having his frustration tweets right after the game, when Stephon Diggs says, it's easy to criticize my reaction more than the result, Eli Apple retweeted and said, quote, Cancun on 3. This dude has been trolling people. I remember last year when they beat the Chiefs, he said, he told Tyreek Hill he's going to buy him Super Bowl tickets so he can actually go to the Super Bowl. Like, this dude, he just a troll. And so, yeah, I think him and Patrick Beverly cut from the same cloth, man. Oh, man. But anyway, this is part 4 of Mahomes versus Burrow. Joe Burrow is 3-0 against Patrick Mahomes. It seems like no matter how Patty Mahomes and the Chiefs have done, Joe Burrow just has their number, finds a way to win these games. If I'm not mistaken, in 2 of those games, Chiefs was up at least 17 points at halftime. And the Cincinnati Bengals find a way to win the game in the second half of the season. So, all right, look. Vegas says this game is even. And they're taking into consideration that Patrick Mahomes has a high ankle sprain. I did go into these playoffs picking the Bengals to come out. Now, I was going to say this. If Patrick Mahomes did not hurt his ankle, I was starting to have a strong suspicion that Chiefs would win this game. Just because of how much more this man is doing with less. How much more he is putting the team on his back. Because before he rolled that ankle against Jacksonville, that team was unstoppable. That offense was unstoppable. Jacksonville would not have been in that game. And I think that momentum would have carried them into this game. And I'm pretty sure that plus the motivation of beating Joe Burrow would have got it done. But now, that's a tall hill to climb. That is. I mean, what makes Cincinnati so great, which isn't a secret, besides Joe Burrow, it's the trio of wide receivers between Chase, Higgins, and Boyd. Those three create a lot of problems for a lot of defenses. A lot of problems. Because a lot of teams don't have three good enough corners to keep up. You know, of course, if you play zone, Joe Burrow is going to eat you alive. So in some situations, you got to play man, and a lot of teams do not have enough corners to cover them. So it puts you in a conundrum, puts you in a situation for sure. And so you got that going on. Cincinnati running game has been pretty good. Their defense has been sneaky good. Their head coach, Zach Taylor, has been putting them in pretty good situations as well. So yeah, Cincinnati, man. Team is legit. I would have definitely given Kansas City an edge if Patrick Mahomes wasn't hurt. We just don't know what type of Patrick Mahomes we will see. Because anybody that has that high ankle sprain, coming back after a week, you definitely nowhere near 100%. High ankle sprains are not to play with. Yes, I don't know what to expect here from Patty Mahomes. I know Andy Reid would definitely, do the best that he can. But I don't know if it's enough. I really don't. And then it's going to be the narrative of Patrick Mahomes, sensational quarterback, once in a generation type talent. Going to go down as one of the best quarterbacks in NFL history. But Joe Burrow is the one guy that tops him every time. That's going to be the narrative if Kansas City loses this game. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes is hurt, but the fact that they lost 3 straight to these guys and Patrick Mahomes has yet to beat him, they're going to say, well, Patrick Mahomes should have won one of them other times when it was up 17 points at halftime. Should have won that. He should have beat them last year in the AFC Championship game. So it's like no more margin for error in regards to that. Like I said on Tuesday, Joe Burrow says he don't ever see himself as an underdog. If that's the case, I'll roll the battle with Joe Burrow any day of the week. I feel like we got a chance every week. And lo and behold, Cincinnati right back in the AFC Championship game. So yeah, I'm sticking to my guns of the Cincinnati Bengals. I think they go in and handle business. That team is good. And I'm predicting the Bengals and 49ers Super Bowl. I'm pretty sure those two teams played each other in the Super Bowl in the 80s. before I was born. And if that's the case, the Niners won that game. So yeah, we will see. That Eagles-Niners game is at 2 p.m. Central Time. Pretty sure that's on Fox. And this Bengals-Chiefs game is at 5:30 Central Time on CBS. There you go. Sunday. Get your popcorn ready. And so, lastly, just really brief. The NBA All-Star Game is coming up. I'm going to actually have the date here for you. All right, so Sunday, February 19th, 7 p.m. Central Time. So in the past, usually like a week before the All-Star Game or a few days prior, on TNT, they would do the draft, right? The leading vote getter in the Western Conference and the leading vote getter in the Eastern Conference, they would do the draft of the players that's selected for the game, pick their teams, starting lineups, the benches, blah, blah, blah. And then the All-Star Game would come around and they would play. Now, to make it a little bit more interesting, so you can't really prep for it, I guess, as much, or just create a little bit more suspense and drama, the NBA has decided that, we're going to do the draft the same day as the game. And I love that idea. I do. Because at that point, you're kind of like the captains, whoever picking the team, you give more time to prep for it. But I think the prep afterwards, between that and the game, you don't really have much time. There's no, really no practice or anything like that. No walkthrough practice. Anything. No. Basically, you just go out there and hoop. Just like I feel like it's just like a when you go play, pickup. Normally, in my experience, you shoot for it. First two hit, pick your teams. Or if it's 10 of you all, or whomever, the first 5 to hit, that's one team. So, I just want the game to be as exciting as possible. I'm still cut from the era where I grew up watching. They actually played defense in the All-Star Game. It was actually competitive. It was playing with pride. It wasn't even about the money. It was for the love of the game. That was the All-Star Games that I miss watching. From the late 90s to the early 2000s, those All-Star Games were everything. They were. The 98 All-Star Game in New York, that was excellent. The 2001 All-Star Game, I believe that's what it was. The 2001, that was one of the best finishes I've ever seen in my life. So much pride. They took pride in that. I miss it. So I'm hoping one day that, these games get back to its roots, back to the way it was, and actually put on a show for the fans. Now everybody just move out the way and they do a dunk contest in the middle of the All-Star Game. No, I'm talking about actually the best of the best competing against each other and seeing who could best who. That's all I ask for. So yeah, we will see. We will see. So, all right, you all continue to rock with me right here on the No Offense Network and No Offense Radio. Check me out on social media at JGoodWithSports, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Saturday, once again, be on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast with my bros Brandon and Ian as we break down, the past week in sports and also our Chicago-based sports teams. Last week we had on our boy Al Williams from the Al and Powell Show as a guest. Honestly, I'm not sure who the guest is this week. My boy Brandon has been lining them up every week, and it's been a knockout every time. So yeah, until then, continue to get to the money. The people in the north, be safe with the snow. People in the south, I guess, continue to be warned by default. But in any regards, you all have be blessed. Have a good one. Until next time. Peace.